But this story did in fact happen. We went to Subway and he said, "You're gonna get a 6-inch sub." I said, "That's not enough food. I need a 12-inch sub." "Well, why? 6 inches is enough." Hey, no woman has ever said that, but Dwayne decided to say this. I said, "Me eating a 6-inch sub is like you eating nothing." Couldn't believe the logic, was mind blown, but I explained it. And he gets it to this day.
And everything you're doing to get there is not going to be worth it.
You know what else wasn't worth it? Watching your stupid video from a Karen who lied about eating 300 calories a day.
6 eggs. If you're a man, do not complain to me about your calorie deficit, if you can even call it that.
And so you know those videos about girl math? Well, this is that. And so let me explain. When I was younger, I used to tell my friends, I remember this clearly, me eating a 6-inch sub is like you eating nothing. And they're like, "What do you mean?" They're literally pissed off. And I'm saying, yeah, when I eat a 6-inch sub and you eat nothing, we're equally hungry. And they said, "That makes no sense." Well, you're lazy. You do nothing. You burn off about 2,500 calories a day. In comparison, I'm training for triathlons, and so if I don't eat 5,000 calories, I literally will wither away. Now, you might say, yeah, that makes you lucky, that makes you... Why can't he? And so let me explain. When you have the Charmuta blue lobster crab, it doesn't need a lot of food in order to lose weight. Perhaps 1 Seco bar a day, and this lobster crab, it's gonna be full. If the Charmuta crab gets a little bit chubby and it can't attract a mate, the blue lobster, it's gonna have to go on a diet. And so it might need to eat perhaps 100 calories, perhaps half of a Seco bar. Now, the ant might be looking over at the blue lobster crab and thinking,
"I'm so jealous. I don't think it's fair. You're losing weight on 1/2 a Seco bar. I only can eat a little crumb."
You're so much smaller though. If this blue lobster only ate, let's call it 10 crumbs, it would starve to death and it would no longer be with us. It would no longer have a booty because it would be not eating enough calories and the blue lobster would not be attracted. And so it's not the same thing. And so to the same extent, when this girl eats 6 eggs and is full, if I do the same thing, I'm literally starving to death. And so me eating 6 eggs would be like her eating nothing. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if I ate 6 eggs a day and she ate none, I would starve to death quicker than her. I need more calories. If I eat under 4,500 calories a day, I start to lose weight. And so what do you think happens when I eat 3,000 calories? It's a
nightmare. Constant hunger, cravings, lethargy, brain fog, low sex drive, testosterone levels go down. Well, not for me because I'm on HRT, but my life ceases to be normal. In comparison, if she eats 3,000 calories, she gets fat. Why do you think that is?
Well, just look at her and her annoying self. At least she's not doing the friggin' bird hands. And so, oh, I'm mad. Men can eat more than me. It's so easy for them to lose weight. No, it isn't. We're much bigger than you. Perhaps twice your size, and so we need twice the calories. And so when we go into a deficit from only eating 2 slices of pizza instead of 3, we're still hungry. The body only understands whether it's in a deficit or not. If you're in a deficit and you're the mountain and you're 400 plus pounds and you're eating 4,000 calories, that feels for him like he's starving. When Eddie Hall eats only 4,000 calories, he doesn't have any energy. He feels bad. His hunger hormones are saying, eat more. You are Eddie Hall. You're the world's strongest man. You need to eat. In comparison, when you're a small girl like this and you do your girl math and you say, hey, it's not fair. You get to lose weight so easily. You can eat pizza, you can eat chips, you can have 6 eggs for breakfast and you still lose weight. 6 times 75 is 300. 300 calories for breakfast. I had 2,000 calories before going to bed last night, and my breakfast is being made right now. And if all I eat is 6 eggs for breakfast, by lunch, I'm going to be a nightmare. I would have no energy. And so it's not easier for us. It's the same. And to the same extent, let's assume that there is at some point going to be a giant man. He's going to be 20 feet tall. He's a Google outlier. It only happens one in a Google. The one in a millions like Hussein, Farhad, Julian, and so on, these guys are rare. Even more rare for somebody to be 20 feet tall. But if that human does exist and he eats 5,000 calories a day, what do you think's going to happen? He's going to die. He needs more calories. And so stop thinking that just because somebody eats more than you, that somehow life is easy. Oh, you get to eat that much. If I only eat one entree at a restaurant, I'm going to be hangry. I'm not going to be pleasant company because I'm starving. Oh, how could you be starving? You just had an entree. Because it's half of what I need. If I only eat half the calories that I require, which is what you're eating, that to me is like you eating nothing. And so 3,000 calories a day and you eat 1,500 calories a day, and suddenly you eat nothing and I eat 1,500, we're both in the same deficit, gonna lose weight equally. I, on the 6-inch sub, is like you eating nothing. Do you get it now? And the funny thing it was myself and Dwayne Renard. Now, not that he was lazy, he was actually working hard. It just sounded cool to say he was lazy. But this story did in fact happen. We went to Subway and he said, you're gonna get a 6-inch sub. I said, that's not enough food. I need a 12-inch sub. Well, why? 6 inches is enough. Hey, no woman has ever said that, but Dwayne decided to say this. I said, me eating a 6-inch sub is like you eating nothing. Couldn't believe the logic, was mind blown, but I explained it and he gets it to this day. And so hopefully you now get it, but let's go to the comments. Are people gonna agree? Hopefully they're not simping this time. I'm not gonna lie, this is like my dirty little secret of jealousy. I completely agree. Be eating burritos, chicken nuggets, cereal, whatever. 6 eggs is 360 calories. Maybe if they're very big, but this is the point. As if 6 eggs is gonna make you full. I mean, what are we now, Eddie Abou? If 6 eggs fills you up and you can't eat any more than that, eat 6 eggs. 6 eggs, 300 calories. Almost every woman I've ever coached in my life can lose weight on 1,200 calories. And so if 6 eggs for breakfast fills you up, that's 300 calories. You still have 900 remaining. And if you don't like it, that you can't lose any more weight, add in some more cardio. But remember, the amount of struggle that you're going to have when you're dieting is dependent upon how far below your maintenance that your calorie deficit actually is. If your maintenance is 1,200, right there, and you eat 900, you're going to be in a 300 calorie deficit and you're going to feel the exact same way as if somebody is on a 5,000 calorie maintenance and he's eating 4,700 calories. It's both a 300 calorie deficit. And yes, of course, everything has to do with Ghrelin. Are you at your maintenance? Are you starving? Are you hungry? How does that feel? But when you eat 5,000 calories a day and you take off any number of those calories, if you need those 5,000 calories, it's going to feel exactly the same as if you're only eating 1,000 or even 500. Not that anyone in the world could actually survive on 500, but there's people out there that actually think it. Girl, we are just as hungry as you in our deficit. We are much larger, burn more during the day, and need to eat more to not be starving. You must be brand new to this. Well, she is in fact a girl. More muscle equals more energy burn. The bigger the engine, the bigger the fuel consumption. Everyone understands that. My husband will be like, oh man, I have 1,600 calories left. Me, that's my whole day. I mean, how do I get through this? If you read this to the sperm whale would say, okay, I'm going to eat the person that had the 1,600 calories, and then I'm going to eat another. That is nothing. It would feel like they're starving because it's not enough calories. And so speaking about all this hunger and dieting and so on, rather than advertising the Turk Platinum, guys, it's all about the GLP Max. If you're hungry, you're starving, you want to be in a calorie deficit, but you don't want to feel the hunger cravings, why not pick up GLP Max? Reduce the cravings by 28%. That means, roughly, if you're an 8 out of 10 starving and you're at the point where you're ready to eat your hand off, it's going to lower it to a 6. You can handle a 6. Well, some of you can handle the 6s and some of you can. Myself, I'm going to stick with 8+. We're talking about SMV. And so if you can't handle an 8, go down to a 6. They're a lot easier, a lot less fussy. Trust me, Coach Greg knows, especially Togi. And Togi, what does he do? Well, he goes down to the ones and tells everyone that they're a 6. And so interested in the GLP Max, Code Greg, 15% off. It really is unfair, LOL. Now, I'll tell you what's unfair is that the Blue Lobster crab doesn't have to go to work and get a job. The Blue Lobster is expected to work and pay for everything. Blue Lobster Sharmuta crab doesn't go to work, doesn't do anything, and Blue Lobster crab has to work hard, has to be 6'5", or at least 6'5" when sitting on his wallet in order to attract the Sharmuta. That is what's not fair. You requiring less calories to be full, that is an advantage. Think of it. You require less fuel in order to function. And so in the case of a famine, if there's less food available, which one of us do you think is going to survive? Bigger needs more food. You win. Men who need to eat more food, it's harder on them. And it's not just because it costs more to buy that food. It's going to take longer to eat said food. You're going to be stuck doing this for a longer period of time. And so needing less calories, it's actually better for survival. It's funny because I know I've done this exact video while sitting at the condo like 4 years ago. I know I've done this video where somebody said, hey, it's not fair. It's so easy for you men to lose weight because you can eat more food. And it's like, do you not understand that it's all relative? Like, I don't understand that. Like, a woman is smaller and she needs less food. A man is bigger and needs more food. And so when we eat the same diet as you do, we feel like we're starving. If I were to eat Mepsogram's diet for a day, which is roughly 2,200 calories a day, I would be so hungry and starving, it would be literally a nightmare. And to the same extent, if you're like, oh, it's so lucky, I wish I could eat like you. Try it. Eat my diet for one day. I dare you. Mepsogram tried, and what do you think happened? She couldn't do it. She tried. Now, I tried to consume all the caffeine that she consumed in a day. It made me sick. It was way too much. But it's not healthy. And so careful what you wish for. You wish you could eat like me. I would like to see you eat 4,500 calories a day. You would get fat. You would be obnoxiously full. You would hate your life. And remember the movie Thinner, perhaps from 2004, Steven Spielberg, something like that. The guy had prayed, he'd dreamed, he'd wished he could lose weight. His wish was granted. And so the movie titled Thinner, this man continued to get thinner no matter how much he ate. At first, it's amazing. Eating 6,000 calories a day, he's losing weight. This is great. Now, once he got below 100 pounds, it wasn't so good. Now, you might think it's better to be in a man's shoes. Oh, I wish I could be like a man and eat so many calories and lose weight. It's not that easy because there's just as many fat men out there as there are fat women. And so why do you think that is? Because men are lazier than women? Last I checked, men are not lazier than women. Men, more often than women, I see them at the gym. And so, if anything, I'm willing to bet that men perform exercise more than women. I don't know if the stats are correct. Remember, I used to be a physical education teacher. I did my master's in kinesiology and so on. And what I did my thesis on was increasing female participation in sport. And why do you think that is? Well, the women, when they got older, they chose not to take part in physical education. I'm like, this has to change. They're doing something wrong. And so I studied this. I wanted more women, females, to take part in sports and enjoy it the way that I did. And so what I see is fewer women take part in physical activity. And so if they were to take part in more physical activity, would it not make it easier to lose weight? And so for the ladies out there, 150 minutes of cardio a week, that is your minimum. You should be doing more. You should be lifting weights, and you should be, of course, as you know, in the kitchen cooking from my cookbook. Not just for yourself, but for your partner if you have one, your family, your kids, your mom, your grandma, everyone, even your dog. And so, eat the healthy food. Remember, this is lowering calories to keep the weight off. Gonna make you full and get the GLP Max, and of course add in some GO2 Max to improve your cardio. And while you're at it, Turk Platinum. Turk Platinum is so much better than Turk Builder Max. It's got several added ingredients to help with your recovery, building muscle, and so on. And it's very difficult to procure. There's no way anyone in the world has anything like this. I don't care where they're from. It's certainly not some Turkplex BS. It's nothing like that. It's so much better. And if you're someone who struggled with sleep and so on from this, the Turk Platinum, that is what you need. The best of the best. And so if you're interested, code Greg, 15% off.
I ate under 300 calories for around 3 years, and here is the absolute biggest thing I learned from that experience. Nothing.
That you're saying right now is true. You didn't eat 300 calories a day. It's physiologically impossible to survive on that few amount of calories. You're not surviving from breathing in the air. It doesn't work like that. Last I checked, human beings cannot use photosynthesis to produce energy. It doesn't work. You're not a plant. Now, you may in fact be a vegan. I don't know. You look like you're a vegan. You may be a Karen. But trust me, you can't survive on 300 calories. If you ate 300 calories a day for several months, you would be hospitalized. It doesn't work like that. You can't just say something and have everyone just believe it. Just because it's 2025 and people think that they can identify as what they want, they can say what they want, and we all have to assume that you're correct, this isn't actually the case. I know people don't understand this. They don't get it. They think you're a misogynist for saying things that they don't want to hear. But in the reality of the world, if you are educated and you understand this, then you know this to be true. And so if you're doubting me right now, that's okay. You're just not smart enough to get it. I don't blame you. You're probably under 7 years old, or you have a very low IQ, probably under 70. And so if you get this, you get this. Get it? And so anyone that's shitting on me saying, oh, you're wrong, she ate 300 calories, you're stupid, her metabolism slowed down, well, you're just not educated.
Because have you seen bodybuilders and bikini competitors? Have you seen what they eat in a day? They are eating extremely low calories.
Yeah. Extremely low calories. Let me think why. Bodybuilders and bikini competitors are all judged on having very low body fat levels. And so when they reduce their calories, they all get shredded. All of them. Every last one. And the ones who don't, every last one, they didn't diet hard enough. Any bodybuilder, bikini competitor, any of those people that show up with too much body fat, it's because they didn't diet in a low enough calorie deficit, or they didn't do it for a long enough period of time. Take your pick. You can be in a calorie deficit from doing cardio. You can do it from hardly eating anything, from starving yourself. And so, am I saying everyone should be bodybuilders? Obviously not. It's very hard. Perhaps only 1% of the population could ever be a bodybuilder because it requires extreme dedication and willpower. And so, unless you have that in spades, it's not something you should get into.
I have never seen somebody control their macros, sodium, micronutrients, more than I've seen a bodybuilder.
I have. People with EDs, people who don't compete, but they think that they're fat. They don't know what they're doing. They're not healthy. They have some form of mental something going on where they look in the mirror and they feel fat. They weigh under 100 pounds. They think they're fat. There's nothing you can do. They just think this. And so, no, not only bodybuilders and bikini competitors have these problems. There's people who don't compete whatsoever who track even worse than bodybuilders. And I'm including professionals.
They will tell you that it is the biggest challenge to ever fucking do, and that they don't enjoy the actual process. They enjoy, challenging their body.
I actually enjoy the process of bodybuilding more than getting up on stage. People are saying, oh, you got up and dieted for 4 months for 5 minutes on stage for a plastic trophy. Nope. I enjoyed the challenge. I want to see if I could do it. How many people could do what I did? Not many. I enjoy that challenge. Why do you think people climb Mount Everest? Why do people do so many of the things that they're doing? Why do they circle the globe walking, or they run 24 hours straight? They do 100-mile marathons. Why do they do these challenges? It's because it's a challenge. They do the challenge for that reason, the challenge. And so if you don't like that challenge because, hey, you don't have it in you, you're not that type of person, well, fine, that's great. We know that. Perhaps only 1.8% of people could ever do a bodybuilding competition. That just makes us want to do it even more.
But they could never picture staying in that state forever.
Right, because we're not morons. When you do a bodybuilding competition, you diet down to unhealthy low levels of body fat, you starve yourself and so on, you get up on stage and compete, and then after that, you go in a surplus so that you can go back to normal. Because when you're dieting, you don't feel healthy. When you're 6% body fat, 5% and so on, it doesn't feel good. You might look good, but it doesn't feel good. And so it's a temporary state. To the same extent, if you're out doing a marathon, the Tour de France, climbing a mountain, Would you imagine yourself doing it forever, indefinitely? Hey, I'm running, and you're interviewing the person, and they're at mile 20. Hey, are you going to keep running after the marathon's over? No, I'm probably going to rest and eat, and then like maybe run again next week. That's normal. And so just because you don't want to continue to do it doesn't mean that doing that thing, it isn't good. I mean, even sexy time, I was watching the Sharmuta and the Blue Lobster crab. Yeah, I get it. I have weird fetishes. I was watching them. They're going at it. And after about 12 and a half minutes, yeah, I was specific. I was timing them. They stopped. They'd had enough. Now, they resumed again in about 30 minutes. They took a little break. And so just because it's amazingly enjoyable doesn't mean you're going to keep doing it. You do, in fact, sometimes need a break. Same with bodybuilding.
Because the smallest version of yourself is not the place you want to be.
The smallest version of yourself. I would say I was 17. That's when I lost my virginity. So I was the smallest virgin. I think I was about 142 pounds. Just saying.
And everything you're doing to get there is not going to be worth it.
Nothing I did to get there is worth it. And so, you know what else wasn't worth it? Watching your stupid video from a Karen who lied about eating 300 calories a day.
I went to unbelievably extreme lengths to try to get to the smallest version of myself.
Yeah, you lied about going to extreme lengths to get to the smallest version. You didn't eat 300 calories a day for 3 years. If you did, you wouldn't be with us. You wouldn't have recorded this video. And so if you had even eaten 300 calories a day for 3 months, you would have been hospitalized. You wouldn't have been able to survive. It doesn't work like that. You can't just say something, perhaps with a bird hand. I ate 300 calories a day. Just because you did that doesn't mean you actually did that. Get it?
None of it was worth it. None of it.
None of it was worth it for you. What if I think it's worth it? Hey, Mepsigram went to medical school for 11 years to be an eye surgeon. For me, it's not worth it. I don't want to study for 11 years to cut open people's eyes. It's not my thing. But does that mean she shouldn't have done it?
While I will not go into detail about everything that I did, but I will tell you that everything I did should have sent me to the hospital. I should have been in the hospital. I should have been getting IV fluids. And if anybody close to me had known that I was doing that to myself, I would have been in the hospital.
Or she didn't do those things. And she wants you to think she does because it's an appeal to sympathy. Oh, I did all those things. If you knew the lengths that I went to lose weight, the 300 calories I ate every day, maybe she did 6 hours of cardio on top of that, whatever else she did, it would have put her in the hospital and she should have been on IV fluids. But somehow, God, it just looked after her. She's special. She's an angel and she doesn't need calories. She can do whatever she wants and she's invincible. Or she lied.
None of it was ever worth it. Because what I did give myself, I never got to my dream body.
What exactly did she give herself? Hemorrhoids, waxing, some kind of bowl haircut?
That didn't get me to my dream body. The body I have now, this is my dream body, and I got there by fueling myself.
Well, fantastic. You have your dream body. And so what is this video? Don't eat 300 calories a day for 3 years because it doesn't give your dream body, but if you eat whatever you want, you can then get it. Like, if you're happy with your body, just be happy with your body. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, and you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Yay! Clap my hands. And I didn't even get the clap. That's from clapping behind your back. You all know that.
I got there by learning how to have a truly good relationship with food. I didn't do it through restriction. I didn't do it by chasing the smallest version of myself.
Yeah, I don't court bananas. Relationships with food, to me, I just don't do that. I don't date animals. I don't date fruit. I have relationships with people. That's it. I'm just weird like that.
I did it by chasing the healthiest version of myself. And you know what I still ended up with from those 3 years of eating under 300 calories? I ended up with extremely fragile bones. For a good period of time, my bones were so fragile that I was put on a bunch of vitamin D supplements. And
well, it was so fragile that she was on a bunch of vitamin D supplements, not even bother with the calcium. Maybe this is like Glass and that Invincible Man. You remember the comic books with Glass and the Invincible Man? And he couldn't be damaged. And it was played by Bruce Willis. He couldn't die. And then that other guy, I can't remember, me with names. Perhaps this is the antithesis of Brian Shaw, or his polar opposite, his mirror reflection. The 1 in 500 million density, perhaps she's the 1 in 500 million density weakness. She only needs 300 calories. Brian Shaw, maybe he needs 6,000 calories. Maybe this girl, 300 calories. Is she the opposite?
And some medications, because when I fractured my left foot, guess how I fractured it? I hurt myself in dance, and it snapped like a twig. None of it will ever be worth it, and you will end up damaging yourself more in the long run. And it's still, you could reach your dream body, you could be in the smallest version of yourself possible and think you want it all, but I guarantee you that you will still be just as miserable as you were when you started.
And all I took is she's a lying piece of shit liar that is just trying to fuck us all over and get sympathy and say, yeah, 300 calories a day, bones breaking, I hate my life, and never date me. And so, if you're interested in hooking up with this girl and you're perhaps a 4 out of 10 or lower and you have no options, then well, hit her up. And then she's going to say, I don't date down. And then you're going to continue to go back and forth. And then someday when she's 35 and she watches enough videos on YouTube, she'll understand that she was wrong all along and she needs to do better. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 boosts. And if you want to get coached by Coach Greg, apply by clicking the link in the description. And for the cookbooks, the training books, the Circle Diet book, all the books, all the supplements, don't forget to head to the website. And of course, the blue lobster that we discussed all the time throughout the video with the charmuta lobster, crabs, and so on. You can get the blue lobster and get blue lobstered by clicking the link in the description right now. And until next time, I'm out.